Today I have brought notes of English subject targeted to grade 9 to 12 students. So this material is about English, basically related to English poetry. So I have brought basic elements of poetry. So in this video, you will learn what are the basic elements of poetry. And before that, let's talk about what is a poetry. What is a poetry? Poetry is a compact form of literature which is created by putting words together in an interesting way to express a feeling, create a mental picture, or tell a story. Poetry is an expression of emotion or ideas in an arrangement of carefully chosen words, most often rhythmically. So, my dear student, it's not easy to define poetry. It's difficult to say what is a poetry, though different scholars have given different type of definition. Let's understand some basic elements of poetry. Number one is a meter. So what is a meter? This is the basic structural makeup of the poetry of a poem. It is the structural makeup of the poem. The structure of syllables which follow the rhythm has to be included, and this is the meter of the metrical form of poetry. Then comes stanza. Stanza in poetry is defined as a smaller unit or group of line or a paragraph in a particular stanza has a specific meter, rhyme, scheme, etc. 3. Rhyme. The repetition of n sounds is called rhyme. It means that the last words or sounds of the lines match with each other in some form. For example, there lies the garbage of old thorns, mice freely nurture their thorns. So here thorns and bones are the rhyming words, and this is the rhyme. 4 number is theme. What is theme? This is what the poem is all about. The theme of the poem is the central idea or message that the poet wants to convey to the readers. That is called theme. So sometimes you get a question, what is the theme of the poem? Next is simile. It is a comparison using the like, as, then. For example, she is like a red rose. I wander lonely as a cloud. So here in the first sentence, she is compared with the red rose. In second sentence, I is compared with cloud. So the manner I wander is like that of a cloud. So this type of comparison is called simile. But remember, there should be the use of the words like, as, then, etc. Next is 6 number, metaphor. So what is a metaphor? It is a comparison without using the words like, as, then. For example, she is a red rose. Here in simile, you have seen the sentence like, she is like a red rose, but here there is no like. She is a red rose. Tom is the king of this college, so this is the metaphor. And poets use such literary elements in order to give special effect upon the readers. Next element is personification. So what is personification? It is giving human qualities to objects and animals. For example, the sun is peeping in through the window. So human quality is given to the sun. Actually, the sun cannot peep. The sun is not a human being. Human beings can peep. But here, sun is peeping like human being. So this type of giving quality, human qualities to objects and non-human beings is called personification. Next is hyperbole. So it is a large exaggeration, usually used with humor. For example, her hair is so long that it can make the river, is across the river. So hyperbole is a type of exaggeration, and hyperbole is also used by the poets in order to give special effect of meaning upon the readers. Next literary element is assonance. It is a repetition of vowel sounds within syllables with changing consonants. For example, tilting at windmills, the rain in Spain falls mainly in the plains. Here you will find the repetition of the sounds. Next is alliteration. It is a repetition of consonant sounds within syllables. For example, faithful friends from flattering foe. Remember, there is difference between assonance and alliteration. Assonance is the repetition of vowel sound. Here you have seen I, the vowel I. Here is E sound. E sound is repeated. And here F, the letter F is repeated. That means fa. Fa sound is repeated. So that is a type of repetition. Next is form. It is the way a poem looks. So how does a poem looks? That is the form of the poem. The form of a poem can add to its meaning. Next is tone. It is the author's attitude towards the audience, the subject, or the character. We can organize the tone by the language words the author uses. So you get a question in exam, what is the tone of the poem? And you write the answer. The tone of the poem is sarcastic, satirical, like that you write. So the tone of the poem. Then comes mood. It is the overall atmosphere of a piece of literature. So what type of atmosphere is created? That is the mood. And mood is created by the setting, the characters, and their actions. So the setting, character, actions, they create the mood. And the last but not the least is point of view. So what is point of view? It is the angle of looking at things, which shows the opinion or feelings of the individual involved in a situation. And it is the mode of narration that an author employs to let the readers hear and see. So what is the point of view? Or whose point of view is found in the first stanza? Whose point of view is found in the last stanza? Like that. So the point of view. So my dear students, I have given you few elements of poetry, and these are basic elements of poetry. So the students reading in grade 9, 10, 11 and 12, if you do not have the knowledge of at least these basic elements of poetry, you cannot understand a poem properly and you cannot analyze a poem properly. So please read these elements of poetry properly. It will help you in your further study. If you are student of literature, English literature, these things will be more helpful, and in your further study you will read more literary elements including these. So thank you very much for watching the video. In order materials, please share the video and subscribe the video. Thank you very much.